Welcome to Swim Easy Speed. Do you have a tough time holding a straight line in open water? If you do, then this video is for you. So we're going to look at a pro triathlete today that was in town for Ironman Texas. He had a bunch of athletes that he was coaching that were racing. So we got in the endless pool, and he's comes from a swim background. Grew up swimming. He's pretty decent, kind of mid-pack pro triathlete in the swim. And what you can see is he's moving around a lot in the endless pool. The endless pool spent a lot of money on keeping the current pretty stable, so he's moving in the current. And what we can see is, look, he generates a lot of power on the water. So, he's driving a lot of it pretty straightforward. This kind of indication right here, because we typically want all of this going straight back. So this is the blue is the right side, the orange is the left. And so what it looks like is he's throwing a lot of power out to on the left. When it's on his left hand, it's going to the right. So it's basically, think about underneath his body. And then on the right side, it's going out to the left. And you can see that here and here. The downward right here is pretty good. You'd want to get this down to zero, this down to zero, and then these as close to zero as you can get. And then with this, typically really great swimmers, really efficient swimmers are somewhere around 70 to 75%. So you can see he's got a little ways to go, but he's a lot higher than some other pro triathletes I've seen. So here's one of the things you can see. So this is every stroke that he took while he was in there, and we're looking at over here is force, and then we're looking at basically his tempo. And what we'd want to see is you can see how there's all these little peaks and valleys when he goes on the right versus the left. And, just like on the bike where we're looking at that variability index, we want this to be as flat as possible across the top, because then we're generating even equal power. It means we're a lot more stable. So anytime you start to see these ups and downs like this, it's usually indicating that, he's not as stable in the water as he could be. Anytime you're not as stable, you're going to sacrifice power and efficiency to get back some stability. So you start to see, here's just some random ones that I picked out. There's 2.5. It's going out. Propulsion's still pretty high, but it's down. Again, here's a lot of power. Propulsion is down a little bit, but, not bad. Go on to the left side. Power again is up. Propulsion's pretty good. Throwing a lot out to the right. So again, we're looking at stability. So here's what he looks like. This is where we started when he first got in. You can see the feet coming apart here when he breathes. Big, huge breath to the side. So that's going to impact kind of his pull underwater, but it also is going to make him pretty unstable. So what we can look at here is, typically there he's pulling up the head. Typically this you'd like to see somewhere between 30 and 40 degrees. So what that's doing is it's impacting a lot of the, power that he can generate over here, because you figure midline is somewhere along like that. And then if we look on the other side, and this is when he's not breathing, here we go again, and like that. So it's a little bit better, but still could be a little bit more relaxed. And that's kind of some of the stuff that let's see what it does when he goes over here and breathes on that left side. All right. So there's plane. Yeah, about the same. So he's pretty consistent when he breathes. It goes up to about 65 degrees. And then here's where we get to see kind of what it's doing. So here's that rotation to get the breath. There's where he's putting midline. Here's where his hand is. Typically we'd like to see, basically in line with the shoulder right there. So all the power is going to be in here, or the most amount of leverage is going to be in there. And he's just not able to get there just because of how much he's rotating. You even see that little stoppage right there when he does turn. And it's just because he doesn't have any leverage. So the first thing we did, just so you guys don't think I just recommend this all the time and don't do it, kick with the brick. And, he struggled a little bit at first. You can see he's not holding as straight a line as he possibly could, but he gets better as we cue him more and keep on doing it, really trying to find that balance on the water. Hips come up. So here's what it turned out to be. So you can see he's holding a much better line in the water. He's a lot more straighter. Everything looks a little bit more connected together. It's not perfect, but that's how it's just little bites and little chunks moving forward. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the pool soon.